Welcome everyone to the July 19th ET Whisper Monthly Channeling Special. We have a group of wonderful, wonderful people here today. I want to thank you all for being here. For those of you who weren't here when Kalina went through the information in the chat room on your bottom left, if you send it to either Kalina herself or to the presenters, or you can post them publicly, you will have your ability to send your questions for Treb and or Aridif. And if any other entities step in today, that will be great. We are definitely excited about all of you being here today, and thank you guys so much. Wonderful conversations in the chat room, wonderful group. That's one of my favorite things about these monthly events is the ability for people to come together. We have people from all around the world right now, all spending time together in this place, getting to know each other. One of the biggest hardships out of all people in the metaphysical community is not finding people in their local communities, so they go to turn to online communities. And there are several online great groups that are out there that are co-creating with people from around the world, but sometimes there's not a really personal experience in that. With this, we have a small, intimate group where everyone is able to experience their own connections with one another and kind of make that a more intimate setting. So this is an experience where if you feel a connection to someone, feel free to reach out to them. You can privately send that in the chat in the same way you switch by hitting the drop-down menu. You can go to presenters, to everyone, or to one specific person individually, and you can write whatever you want to them. That's how we're going to do the questions. I don't know if Kalina is ready for the questions or not. I imagine she is. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take my time to start neutralizing. And when I do that, I'm going to neutralize my energy to prepare a better platform for Treb and Aridif to communicate through. So by all means, you guys can breathe with me. I'm just going to take about 5 minutes to neutralize. And then when I come back, I am going to come back and start connecting. I don't know about Metatron. I don't think, because usually when Metatron comes through, I have to connect to him myself, and I've only once crossed the threshold of connecting to Treb and Aridif, then connecting to Metatron. So by all means, I'm not 100% sure about Metatron. I know for sure Treb and Aridif will be here. So by all means, do that. I'm going to take my time to neutralize. While I'm doing that, I want to share another project that's very dear to my own heart. It's the Channel Panel event in September. All of you guys are aware of it, but we're going to play our new trailer for that for the 5 minutes while I'm breathing and off camera, so you have something to watch. You also have the chat room to talk to. This event is going to be 2 days, 8 channelers, some of the greatest channelers in the world that are going to be there. They are amazing, amazing channels, and we have a new channel, Shelley Young from Trinity Esoteric Channeling, Archangel Gabriel. So I will play this new trailer for you as I get myself ready to channel. So enjoy yourself, guys. Here's the Channel Panel 2, Awakening from Within. All right, everybody. Thank you for that. Anyone who's interested in the channel panel can go and watch online and live. My video looks like it's froze on my side. How's everybody looking on that side? All right, let me reset that thing then. Let's try this a different way. There we go. All right, everyone see me there. There we go. Kalina's here with us too. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, Kalina, I am going to go ahead and neutral. Oh, did you need to say something?
Yes, I did, because I got a sudden bunch of questions, so I'm going to read out who all sent me questions. One is, let's see, I just want to make sure I got everybody's questions. So I got a question from Robert Anthony, and I didn't quite catch someone's name here, but it has to do with the sixth density entity was created with the DNA. I'll have to figure out who said that one. Then another question from Robert, a question from Arid, a private question about recent quitting of jobs, Vashta, and another question for Treb. I believe that was Roy. So I'll try to look through again, but if you guys could just pause for a moment so I could look through carefully and see who asked what, that would help me out a lot, and then I'll let you know when I'm ready to resume with taking questions. Are you there, sweetie?
Yes, I was just going to say that anytime anyone types something into the chat box, it will reset Kalina all the way to the bottom. So if everyone can stop typing for just about 2 or 3 minutes, she'll let you know when she is ready for all of you guys to get back onto the typing, and that would be perfect. So if everyone can pause the typing just for a minute. I mean, you can type in your box, just try not to hit enter until that happens. So, all right, while Kalina's doing that, just letting everybody know about the channel panel. If you want to view it and you are not able to come to Los Angeles, California, you can always watch online streaming. We'll give you some information about that after we're done. And because we got a little late of a start than what we're normally used to, instead of going to 4 o'clock like normal, we'll go to about 4:15, which gives an hour 45 of channeling. I'm going to start breathing in while Kalina catches up, and she'll let you know when she's ready for questions. If Treb and Aridif make it in before she's ready, she'll have the ability to tell Treb and Aridif that, if that's all right with you, sweetie.
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't quite catch that because I was trying to focus on the questions.
Yeah,
what did you say?
I was just letting you know I'm going to start connecting with Treb and Aridif, and I told everyone to hold off on the questions, and that way by the time Treb and Aridif get in, you'll be caught up, and if not, just let Treb and Aridif and everyone else know that.
Yeah, I was copying down so fast that sometimes I didn't get the names because the questions post differently from the names. So in other words, I get the questions, but for some reason it doesn't copy the names, so I have to kind of go and do it twice. So that's not you guys' fault. It's just the quirkiness of the software.
Yeah, and we've made suggestions to these guys back when it was not any meeting, when it was, I can't remember what the name of it was, but before they changed owners, they used to have a brilliant feature where you can copy someone's message and then put it up in front of everybody so they could see it.
Oh my gosh,
they took away that. So we're trying to get them to bring that back. But everyone just go ahead.
Yes, and it would be nice if people would be able to get muted and unmuted individually. They also have it set where if we do that, everybody can turn on their cameras at random, and then you get a lot of noise and feedback. So don't worry, guys. We are writing to them. We're trying to manifest through them what we can, because it'd be wonderful to be able to hear you guys' voices rather than, just me reading it out. It's much nicer to hear all your beautiful voices. I'm sure we will have that in the future, whether it's through any meeting or through anywhere else. But I am ready to go ahead, I think, and start taking questions.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and start connecting and breathing. And anything you want to let them know, it'll take me a few minutes to do that, so I'll go ahead and start. Thank you, all of you, for coming, and thank you, dear Kalina, for joining us and doing what you do every month. It's amazing, and your energy adds so much.
You're very welcome. I love you guys, and I love you, sweetheart. And
I love you.
Say hi to Treb, because for those of you guys that don't know, and you probably do, he Treb splits up his consciousness, so Rob actually goes and kicks it with Treb, astrally speaking. So.
In Asheville, our dear friend Ruben called it "Gone Fishing with Treb." All right, everybody, I'm going to connect. I leave it in your capable hands, sweetheart, and we'll stop about 4:15, okay?
Okay.
All right, 4:15, we'll call the channeling quits, and I love you guys, and we'll see you then.
We love you guys.
Greetings to you all. This is Aridif. That is Aridif, and this is its spell. I know that many of you have many queries for this day, but before we begin with our queries, we must express some concepts that we wish to share with you. Also, greetings, Kalina.
Welcome, Aridif. Thank you for being here today. We love you very much, too.
Yes, as you understand, you are loved. And this is one thing that we wish to express to all of you. Above all things in which we share in this day, to understand of the utmost importance in our perception, the most important concept in which to cover is for all of you to understand that you are loved. Now, what we mean by this means something different for all of you, but let us express in the way that we desire our intent to preserve the content of the message in what it means in our own perception. Now, when we express that you are loved, what we have said before is that when an entity expresses I love you to another entity, what does this mean? It is an expression of two separate entities, two segregated entities expressing one common connection with one another. Yes, this is also important. Yes, this also is meaningful, not only to you, but to all of you as a co-creation. But what is love in the human standard? This also is defined differently to all of your minds. When one expresses, I love you, they are also expressing other concepts in the name of their own desired perception of love. They will express, I love you, but they will not express true love to another entity. In our perception, what true love is a full acceptance of all that they are. But when you express that I love you, but you do not give an entity the freedom to choose what they desire, when you do not give an entity the means to be perfect, whether they are sick, whether they are doing something in which you do not agree, a love seems to be quite limited in that perception. When you do not give the entity their own desired sovereignty, then love is only a word that is limited highly. When we express the concept that you are loved, what we mean truly in this nature is that all things in creation are part of creator consciousness. That creator consciousness in whole is all things in sum. When you combine every entity, every deity, every energy within this universe, within the multiverse, that is creator consciousness. That is undefined, unlimited love. It is unconditional in many formats. It is truly expansive and unlimited, and that means when you are loved, you are connected to all of that energy. You are connected to creator consciousness. You are created to the unlimited, undefined, expansive energy that is. This is why we believe it is so important to continuously express the concept that you are loved. Now, there are also other concepts which we wish to share, but we will keep them as short as possible for brevity's sake, and also for the sake of all of you to have your desired answers in what you are perceiving as the most important questions in your own hearts and minds. First of all, let us talk about what it is to be within your energy as you are in this time period as you see as now. The time for you is July. This is your month of the year in which all of you are zoned in and connecting to. All of your thought process are concentrated in this time period that you call July. What energies are coming to the earth? We have expressed this many times. For brevity's sake, for a reintroduction for those of you who have not, it is simply about an energy. There is an energy that you have compounded for the last several months, from the ending of last year until the mid of this year, that expresses that all belief systems will come to the surface. All belief systems must be examined deeply. It is time to surpass all of the limiting beliefs that you no longer desire to hold on to, that you no longer desire to incorporate within yourself. This does not have to be done with a great hardship. Many of you understand in the last 4 years of your incarnation, if all of you have been on the spiritual path since then, or expansive path since then, you understand that changing belief systems en masse in the majority of the human collective is a very difficult situation. It is a hardship to most of your perceptions. What we are saying in this energy, in this now, it does not have to be a difficult one. When you experience the synchronicities that lead you to examine these beliefs that you have held so wholeheartedly for long periods of time, when you examine what no longer resonates with you, it can be as simple as letting go of what you do not prefer. Now, we understand the human mind is not always built to accept the concept of ease. It is not always built to accept the concept of something difficult being easy just because you believe it is, but it can be this simple. For all of you who desire to have the simplicity that we have expressed, all that must be done is the true letting go of what does not resonate. What does this mean? When you do not desire to be in the relationship that you are, let it go. When you do not desire to have a job in which you are not having excitements, you are not making the money you desire, let it go. If you desire to change your thought process that restricts you and believes that you are the victim of all circumstances, let it go. It can be this simple. We have worked on many techniques of letting go, but none such as easy as the simple concept of changing whatever mindset you have in each moment. I must keep the job. I must work hard. I must do things in order to achieve. The no pain, no gain concept no longer is alive in the manifestational beginnings of your fourth density consciousness. What is a fourth density consciousness? It is the beginning of opening yourself to full acceptance, to full connection, to full unlimited aspects of yourself, integrating into your lower fractal consciousness at your beck and call. Fourth density is expressing unconditional love. Unconditional love for others or yourself. This is up to you. But when you unconditionally love yourself, you will see that you are worth making these changes for yourself not to suffer, for yourself not to be integrated into hardships, for the simplest concept of letting something go. If you do not wish to be a part of all the hardships that you are facing, you must simply let it go. We will let our speech go also so that you may ask your questions. We know that there are many queries that all of you have. You may begin at your leisure. Thank you.
Thank you, Aridif. You are just amazing, and there's so much excitement in this room. We've got tons and tons of questions, so I am not going to delay.
Yes.
And go ahead and begin. All right, let's see. Our first question is from Robert. He asks, can you give us some insights to the situation in Germany and Europe due to the economic and financial system? Some people are very worried about the next years. Is it useful to hoard some gold coins or food in regards to a material precaution? Or will this bring us instead of more safeness, just the opposite, because we are expressing a fearful belief?
Yes, now you understand the repercussions of worrying and collecting gold and holding food already. You have seen the concept of what it is to place your investment of belief into needing some backup or support within your own environment due to the belief that things will soon become unstable. Now, if your belief is truly there, if there is nothing you can do within yourself to shake your belief, then by all means, start holding gold, start holding food, start collecting all these things because you are already energetically creating your future as such. Now, understanding the most basic attributes of creating your existence, and we all know from the field of the collective in this room that you are all advanced learners, but we must express for the benefit of all who come at a later point, that the building of your creation, the creation of your surroundings, the surroundings of your environment created within yourself are simply an expansion or a projection of what is within you already. Therefore, if you believe that all things in front of you will be hard, that your financial systems will deplete, that the environment will be ruined by careless humans and those who mean to hurt you, those who mean to kill you or poison you, then this is what you will face. If your belief is that all of the things that are happening with instability in financial systems are only an external mean for change, then it will. It will be as such from the creative mechanism inside of you. But how is this created? What is the mechanism of this creation? We have expressed to all of you your belief system. This is your outer bounds. If you are looking at a computer program, this is the coding in which cannot be bent or broken. Your belief systems are the edge of the program. Nothing can be done outside of this edge. Now, when you are looking at your thought process, daily thought process, momentary thought process, it expresses all of the thoughts that you have are what you are putting into your program. It is the editing codes that you are placing within your program. Now you are thinking, financial system will soon become depleted. The financial system will crumble, and therefore we will have a different system than we are used to. You are feeding the thoughts into your reality. All of those thoughts are going into the new coding of your program. Now, when you are looking at your action system, what way can you act? You can act by allowing the new system to take place with your beliefs. Within the parameters of your beliefs, your thoughts are becoming more so into that program, and you are consistently typing away with new thoughts. But your actions can act one of two ways: either letting it go, or I will now begin to hold food and gold, therefore I will be safe. There is a lack of feeling resonant within your own self. There is a lack of resistance within fear within yourself. So you are now saying, I'm very fearful and unstable when I am putting this input into my program. So now you are literally typing all of this unstable coding into your program. Now your action mechanism is the enter button. It is your last key of reference. It is what puts your thoughts into your reality. You act upon fear. You act upon instability by gaining gold, by gaining food. Therefore, you have now placed unstable coding into your environment. But if you let go of it and act only on other things that are exciting to you, finding what new systems could be in place, learning about the current system in order to have a greater understanding, those are all actions with alignment, with non-resistance. Once you hit the action key with stable information, stable coding, you are now placing into your reality a new system of stability. But look at your beliefs. Look at all of your beliefs. How much of your energy is invested within this belief? If you say that I am 80% sure that everything will be well, you are giving yourself a 20% probability for it not to be well. If you are putting instability instead of stable coding into your program, it changes the 20% to much more because you are putting imbalanced coding in. So now you are typing away with unstable coding at a 20% variance that it could go negatively. Now, we always say nothing outside of your beliefs can be expressed, but this is not always true. It can always go to the outer edges of your coding. If you believe with 90% variance that nothing will go wrong, you have given 10% chance to go outside of the boundaries. The more unstable coding, the more you add to this. So it is an investment in your beliefs, the thoughts that you create on every moment, and then your actions to put the coding into the system to create the reality around you. So instead, we will ask you, what do you prefer? An existence, an environment in which stability happens for financial means within your own reality, or one with unstable? Understanding that the things that you can fear, the things that you can perceive as negative, can always be expressed as positive concepts. Instead of seeing the financial system will collapse, therefore, I understand new financial systems, one that are more equal, will take its place. Therefore, you have turned what normally would be perceived as a negative event into one that is positive. We hope this helps you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aridif. I love
Yes.
how you get so deep into each and every question, and we really deeply appreciate that from you. Our next question comes from Anthony, and he wants to know what his connection is to the Andromedans.
Yes, and you are expressing this comes from Anthony.
That's correct.
Yes, this is quite simple. There are two portions of Andromedan energy within yourself. Now understand, there are many Andromedan entities. Most entities stay within their own galactic consciousness. When you are looking at 6 density entities, these entities tend to travel outside of the galactic means in order to see other expressions in other galactic consciousnesses of certain ideals that they wish to play with. For instance, the entities that you call ancient Andromeda, they are humanoid entities. They are ones who came into this galaxy from their own in the Andromedan galaxy in order to explore what it is within the ancient reptilian energy that causes instability in a galaxy. Understand, the ancient reptilian entities, the ones that most of you perceive as the highly malevolent, negative beings, are not only in this galaxy. Yes, they are strongly within this galaxy, but they are in many more. They were never within the Andromedan galaxy when the Andromedans came here. That is why they came here, to explore that one aspect more deeply. As the Andromedan or the ancient Andromedans came, this is why. They had learned, perceived, studied what imbalances come from the ancient reptilians' co-creation. They stayed within this galaxy. They brought their new home energy here. Only a small portion of their race came, but they grew, they multiplied. They connected to other races which energetically entangled them. Then, afterwards, you have many more entities in the Andromedan galaxy that grew in their own connection to 6 density. Once achieving 6 density, their concept of study was why the first group of Andromedans came here to begin with. Although it was still a part of their own collective consciousness, the actual group of entities that came into this galaxy from Andromeda in the Andromedan galaxy had already finished their evolution. They are no longer physical in the Andromedan galaxy, but were here within the Milky Way galaxy. So as these entities, the second wave of Andromedans came, what we would label the Andromedans, or the new Andromedans came to this galaxy, there are 2 groups. These 2 groups have connections with many of you, and Anthony, yourself, you are connected to both of these groups. Understand that your connection with the very first group is because of your connection with the ancient reptilians. There are many portions of your oversoul that are directly connected to ancient reptilian energy. Therefore, the ancient Andromedan energy was drew in directly. The secondary wave, those entities co-created much with the Pleaidian energy. The perfect human Pleiadians, as most of you perceive them, those energies co-created frequently within this galaxy. They are still co-creating frequently into this galaxy. So as you're experiencing your Pleiadian counterparts, you are also experiencing the second wave Andromedans in your collective. There are at least 3 Pleiadian entities that we are able to perceive, and also 2 of the new Andromedan energies. That and your old link to the first wave, or the ancient Andromedans, along with your ancient reptilians, that is the energy that pulls you from Andromeda. There are still very frequent visitors that come in and out of galactic consciousness all of the time, from the Pleaidian region or from the Andromedan region to the Pleaidian region. So all of you get to experience touching of the Andromedan energy frequently. Understanding Andromedan energy is very close to this Milky Way energy because of the distance. So those in the 5th density who dared to travel outside of their own galaxy to experience other things, ones who always lived upon the outskirts of their own Andromedan galaxy, would often come to visit also. But these experiences were not as deeply profound as those who come from the 6th density, because they are able to energetically co-create at a higher level. Galactic consciousness, as much as oversoul consciousness, as much as solar system collective consciousness, they are all collective consciousnesses that do experience other entities. Your oversoul connects with other oversouls, but it is not intimate with all of the entities and fractals within your oversoul. This is the same with galactic consciousnesses. Galactic consciousnesses feed from the experience of all of the solar system fractal consciousness, all of their planetary, oversoul, etc. Breaking it downward, they are able to intimately experience every fractal under it and co-create with ones around it. But it is never the same connection as they have within themselves, the understanding and knowing of the intimacy of all of their self parts, more than their counterparts, if this makes sense. We hope this helps. You are loved.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Our next question comes from Deborah, and she asks, please tell me about the sixth density entity who was created with my DNA. What race is he? Where does he live? Is he type 1 or 2? Does he have a name or a vibrational name I can call him? And if possible, can you connect to him to see if he has a message for me? Love and many thanks.
Yes, first of all, we understand the entity you are speaking of. We are not sure of the commonplace name of their own race. What we can tell you, that this entity is vibrationally connected to you in many different ways. In the concept of where they are from, in a star system called Pleaidian. They exist within the second planet of Pleaidian. This Pleaidian region is between the Scorpion constellation and the one next to it. This is where their home is. They exist within many parts of the galactic consciousness. Now, as we are connecting to that energy, one message comes forward. In our experience with connecting to you, there has been a great deal of learning. There has been a great deal of love. There is a great deal of connection. We desire to strengthen our bonds even more. Now, we understand our own love is coming through you. You are perceiving and acknowledging our love, but you are not always able to connect more intimately with that love. The more that you experience reaching out and accepting that love, the more we are able to experience a more deep connection, an intimate one. Now, if you are looking at type 1, type 2, we understand the definitions. We have given the definitions often. If you see type 2 with a benevolent polarity, perhaps, that is more fitting for the energy in which this entity connects to you. If you are looking at the concept of nice or positive and negative, this entity by most humans accord would be positive in polarity. It is benevolent of type 2, but is not willing to step within your free will. The reason why some entities are referred to as benevolent type 2s instead of type 1s is because there are belief systems in which they are willing to step in front of other entities within their own race or other entities within the galactic collective consciousness in order to achieve a greater learning or understanding for them. For instance, examples upon your own Earth collective are quite well understood. There were races who came, who gave you knowledge, gave you understanding, but they also enslaved you in a physical sense. The Anunnaki first brought the DNA manipulation to your race in order to achieve a sort of slavery, if you will, creating a higher level of intellect and a more efficient way of physicality in order for you to work for them. But they also taught a great deal in amount of science, a great deal of technology on a lighter sense, or perhaps a more prehistoric sense. They also gave you the opportunity to understand how to build cities and roads. All of these things were given to you, but they also enslaved. In their minds, using you for their work was not a negative thing, but teaching you and learning the attributes from them was something that was positive for your race. Due to the fact that they were willing to manipulate your energy and use your physical bodies for slavery, they were, in a sense, quite negative in the perception of many humans. But they also thought it best to teach you and express concepts of expansion for you in the mental attributes. So this connection by some was considered a great gift, but others a great disjustice. So looking at it in whatever way you wish, will be your own opportunity and perception. Let us use a secondary example. There are races who strictly came into your collective consciousness knowing what the Anunnaki had done to you, knowing that your DNA had been manipulated. Then they decide to manipulate your DNA again, give you some of their DNA or a DNA from a race in which they knew would counteract certain parts of your DNA. They did this because they believed they were helping you. And in fact, if you look at the evolutionary standpoint in the perception of being the human you are today, they did help you. But many entities believed that that was not necessary. It wasn't appropriate. By you deciding what our genetic evolution would be is not a positive concept. It is quite negative, and you are putting your nose where it does not belong. That makes them a type 2. There are races who just brought knowledge, not affecting your DNA. These entities are still perceived as type 2. They did not co-create with you. They gave you something they believed that would help you, which it did, but without your permission as a collective. They came to you, gave you this knowledge, and left because they believed in their heart it was what you needed. A type 1 lets you decide what you need. And if they can co-create that with you, then they will. This is the main difference. We hope you understand the concepts in connection to this entity. You are loved.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Aridif. And everybody is commenting how wonderful and detailed you are about everything today. And we really appreciate it.
Yes.
I have a super deep, profound question for you.
Yes.
Very simple. My question is, did Rob remember to put water around you? Because I know he needs to keep the body hydrated when he's channeling.
Yes, it is here when we need it. It is appropriately within our reach.
Good, thank you. And everybody, as you know, that's part of my job, is to make sure Rob's body stays hydrated, so I have to ask.
Yes.
All right.
You are loved.
Oh, you are loved too, Ard. Thank you.
Yes.
Robert has a question for you, and he says, can you check my energy in order to find out if I am successful in moving in a positive direction? Am I on target to learn to channel? And could you perceive me when I was using the sound mantra to connect to you? Do you have advice for me?
Yes, first of all, let us express understanding the words positive and negative in our perception are not examples of expression words. They are not examples of a finite energy. They are only perception-based. In that way, we will eliminate that portion of the question and move directly in. Are you on target with working towards your channeling? And the answer is quite positively yes. Understanding that you have opened your energy within your third eye, crown chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra, and more chakras, but those specifically are the ones that are helping you open your energy more directly to channeling. Continue to work on all of the exercises in which you are able to experience and to work your energy with this. Be mindful of your third eye. Be expressively kind to your third eye with giving it love, expanding it, sending energy from the heart chakra to the third eye chakra in order to help sustain the love towards that energy. As you are moving forward, your throat chakra interacts deeply with your third eye. There is resistance within many humans' throat chakra, especially those that are working towards the channeling of verbal nature. It tends to be one of the opportunities in order for you to express your energy more vibrantly if you give it from your heart to third eye, instead of the interactions that it normally will take, or we should re-explain and say more than the expressions from the throat to the third eye, but in addition to it. And while you are working upon that energy, you are expanding more towards your excitement of channeling. Keep it in the forefront of your excitement. It will help you continue. Now, when you are working upon the concept of mantra in connection, we understand that you are also talking of Treb Bor Yit NE. And yes, Your energy connects to him very deeply, and your energy, as it calls mine, does connect to it. We are working upon all human interactions as we are able to, understanding that when all of you, if all of you now were to call upon Treb Bor Yit NE's energy, and I were not here, he would be able to express that energy to all of you individually. Now, because of this group being a collective consciousness, I am able to delegate my energy to all of you equally. I am able to perceive each of you as one exact portion of a fractal of all of your combination or combining your energy as a collective. Treb Bor Yit NE is able to express the same concepts with all of you, plus 1,000 other humans across the world. Now, it can be more, it can be less, depending upon the amount of consciousness that he desires to share, but we are using this for example's sake. If I were to put my energy here with all of you, and 10 entities across the entirety of your world would try to connect to this portion of consciousness, I would not leave this portion to go to them. I only focus the portion of consciousness that I gave to the human collective in order to achieve a co-creation. I am able to express it one now per moment. I am not willing to separate my consciousness in order to bounce around. This is how myself and Treb Bor Yit NE are much different. But in an essence, as each of you have called upon me independently, I have been aware of that energy and have come and co-created with you at a different time in when consciousness was available. So in that essence, all of you now are connecting to me. If your desired effect is to connect to me, we would suggest to call myself and Treb Bor Yit NE simultaneously. This will allow you to connect with a high energy now, and if I am not available, then at a later now point. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry
Yes.
about that. I was just getting another question down. All right. Let's see. Our next question comes from Aaron, and he asks, I bought 3 pendulums, a Karnak, Isis, and Osiris, and wondered if you could give me some advice on what's best for me and how to use them. The Osiris, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, pendulum I read has to be earth and has negative energy.
Yes, first of all, understanding your Osiris energy is more resonant with you, then Isis, then Karnak, in that order. It is not that the pendulum carries any specific energy individually. It only is, just as a channeler is, a neutral conduit in which to place your energy into the channeled state. And what we mean more specifically by this is that in the energy of each pendulum, the more energy of yourself that you put through it, the more it becomes a neutral conduit. The less you connect to it, then it begins to carry its own individual attributes. Once you connect deeply to each one of these, there is no longer its independent energy, but its co-creative energy. You see this in channeling of all sorts. If you allow it to be the conduit, just as you would be if you were verbal channeling, then it will co-create the energy of not only yourself in itself, but the entity in which you are co-creating with. So try not to think about it in terms of this pendulum carries this energy, therefore I must do this or this or this with it. It is only one certain medium of conscious connection. It is a portal of consciousness that allows co-creative connections. In that essence, the Osiris energy is one that is very deeply connected with you. The Isis energy is also connected with you, but slightly less. The third is slightly less than the previous, so you are stepping down 3 times in all energies. Working with all 3 of them, they will all of them be able to do what you desire to if you allow them to be the neutral conduit. And if your beliefs allow you, if your energy allows you, then all 3 of them can be of 0 point energy, of pure neutrality. If you allow this, then neither of them will be more resonant or less resonant with you. Continue on connecting with these, co-creating with these, and the consciousness co-creation will be seen to you more quickly and more elegantly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Our next question, I believe, was a private question, so I'll read it as a private question. This was preferably for Treb. And
yes,
the question
one moment. We will connect you to Treb Bor Yit NE.
Absolutely.
Yes, good evening, Kalina.
Hey, Treb. Oh, it is just always such a joy to see you and Aridif shift back and forth.
Yes, and it is very exciting as well.
Your big smiley face.
Yes.
So we have a question that I believe was private. This person says, I have recently quit my job and would like to work in another area, but so far I have not been able to manifest that for myself yet. Am I blocking myself somehow, or do I just need to put more effort into this?
Yes, let us express that in your own journey as you are connecting to this concept, there are beliefs that limit your ability to manifest this, your subconscious beliefs, your conscious beliefs, your day-to-day mindset. And as you are going forward in this connection, what we suggest to you is in the concepts of working harder for this. This can be seen as many things, but what we suggest more clearly is the more energy of excitement that you place into the actions of trying to manifest this, the more concepts of your beliefs seeing that you are co-creating this, the belief within yourself to do this without reservations. This will be considered more work to some people or trying harder to some people, but in our perception, it does not have to be a hardship. It can be only an addition of normal excitement, and then the more excitement that you place into this concept, the more likely it will come to fruition. But what we can tell you most specifically is work upon the belief systems that you have that say moving and getting a different concept or getting a different place or moving with an entity or experiencing changing of locations or jobs has to be difficult. Work upon those more diligently using whatever means you desire. One thing we can tell you in our own perception is that the 10-step program that Kalina and Rob have shared with the world, co-created by us, will truly help you see your conscious beliefs of what is holding your energy there, as well as subconscious beliefs that you are not aware of. If you use the 10-step process, it can help you identify more of these beliefs that are causing resistance, and hopefully this will help you very greatly.
Thank you so much, Trev.
Yes, you are very welcome.
Before I read the next question, is there anything that you wanted to share with us as the collective?
Yes! What we wish to express to each of you is that we are very excited to co-create with one another, and that in each one of your excitement, it adds to a portion of my own consciousness, which makes my excitement that is normally very excited even more very excited.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and we wish to express a great thanks for this and a great love from our own hearts to yours.
Oh, and we feel the same way, Treb, and I just want to let you know there was a side conversation going on about how everybody wants to give you a hug, and if they can't do it astrally, they want to give you a hug the next time Rob and I are in Asheville, wherever we are, so just be prepared.
Yes, and I wish to give all of you a hug in return.
Oh. All right, well, I am going to continue on with questions. We have a
Yes, and
question.
Aridif will return in one moment.
You know what? I think there is a question for you from Roy. Did you want me to go ahead and read that before you go to Art?
Yes, if this is your excitement, you may do so whenever you are ready.
Absolutely. Roy had a question for you, and he says it's nice to communicate with you again. And he says, I would like to ask you a personal question about my flute playing and didgeridoo. Is there any connection to past lives, or is this the first life where I express myself through these instruments? And my next question is about the current solar flares which are entering our Earth now as we speak. Could you elaborate a bit around this, their effects, and their transformative intent, and how I can expand the channeling of sounds with these instruments?
Yes, first of all, we will address the concept of your didgeridoos and your flute concepts. So first of all, we wish to look into the concept of your previous incarnations. As we are aware, there are 3 incarnations in which instruments of this variety are played, the didgeridoo specifically in 2 of these incarnations. And in one of your incarnations, it is an instrument that is very close to the flute, but is not exactly as your new flutes are. It is more of a piped whistle. And in these concepts, in all of these incarnations, these were main focal points within your own life and in your own incarnation. What we can tell you is that if your desire are to use these and use them as a portion of your consciousness to express expansion, love, co-creatorship with other entities, this could be something that is very exciting. If you are feeling excitement about this concept, it is for a reason, and that reason is that there can be a great amount of help that you give others by sharing this. Now, in the concept of the second idea that you shared with us this evening, what we can tell you is that within the solar flare, this is a very great deal of energy that is coming out into the solar system collective. What we wish to tell you, Aridif will add upon after we are done speaking, but in our concept, this energy, both physically and non-physically, is expelling itself from the entity in the center of your system called the sun in order to be a part of the co-created energy of ascensional energy as well as the solar system collective energy. The way that it affects you in the solar system form is that it is giving you both light energy and heat energy, but also giving you energy to expand your own consciousness and DNA. As the sun is the central focus point of the solar system energy, it is one that shares itself with all other things within this concept. So if you look at it as if it is one of the mechanisms that is handing you an available energy to integrate with you so that you may use it to expand your already large consciousness, this can be of great assistance to you. In the concept of the essential energy as it co-creates with you, this energy is an activation point of your galactic central collective consciousness, the one in which is co-creating essential energy with you. And the way that that works is when it interacts with the sun, with your star, and the central portion of your solar system, what it does is it ejects a certain physical energy, a light energy, and it interacts with the essential energy, which then enhances quite drastically and dramatically the effects of the essential energy. And the specific essential energy that it is co-creating with you now is one that allows the subconscious concepts to creep up more slowly in certain painful manners into your conscious mindset, and it allows the ones that bring you excitements to bubble up more quickly. Right now, the collective consciousness of the solar system conscious is a very sensitive point right now where you have already explored a great deal of your own belief systems, and some of them are very difficult and very hard to deal with. So it is keeping the painful subconscious ones at a lower rate for the moment to allow the more excited ones to come up so that you may change in a less hard way for this moment, approximately for the next 1.2 months, and then allows you to deal with the excitements so that after your excitements have surfaced, you may be ready for the more hard belief systems of a subconscious manner. Aridif also wishes to speak of this concept. One moment, please. Greetings, this is Aridif. We are back without hesitation or delay. First of all, when expressing the concept of your central star, of your solar system, what we can tell you is this, that in your concepts of solar system energy, the physical energy is not fully understood by mankind in this moment. The physical energy of heat, yes, you understand this. You even understand neutrinos, they are coming to your Earth collective. But one aspect of your star's energy that you do not understand is the radio frequencies of the subatomic particles. Now, all of the energies that you have are either sound or light or both. But in this concept, there is a very small amount of energy that comes through you in sound waves. One of the energies that this is used to is to help expand your own DNA. It has been working in unison with all planetary consciousnesses from the beginning of its time. It helps work on the individual first density, second and third density consciousness to help expand their DNA coding. But in the fourth, fifth, and sixth density, it enhances the amount of DNA which is available to you. Now, physically, this is what is happening with your star system collective. But in a non-physical essence, what it is doing is activating your DNA. It is giving you the switch or the availability to integrate large portions of your higher self or higher fractal consciousness with your lower fractal consciousness. In the essence, we've always expressed that the lower fractal consciousness is approximately 20% of your overall essence, your overall soul, your overall entity in which you are. Now you are integrating larger percentages from the higher fractal consciousness. Now, instead of being focused in on 20% of your consciousness or aware of your experience at 20%, you are now integrating larger portions, such as 10% additional to your 20. So now, instead of the 20-80% variance combination, you are now receiving 70 and 30, or even 75 and 25. In this aspect, as you are bringing more consciousness down to your lower fractal consciousness, this is part of your solar system collective. But as Treb Bor Yit NE expressed, when the essential energy from the galactic central consciousness co-creates with your star, it brings additional mechanisms. Now, these mechanisms are brought forward to affect your oversoul in whole. What this means is as your energy in a non-physical sense is fractalized, the star systems already affect you. You understand this well now. But when we are speaking of the essential energy combining, it is affecting the overall soul's energy in adaptability in transferring consciousness. What we mean by this is as you are receiving portions of your oversoul, you are understanding past lives and memory and dreams. You are understanding certain attributes of parallel existences. In your waking day, in your meditation, you are getting parts of these. But this portion of consciousness allows a greater expansion between fractals. It is giving the oversoul in whole the availability to transfer energy from one fractal to the next in a more fluid way. It is always able to be transferred consciousness from one fractal to the next. This is something that all entities in your oversoul have been able to experience. But to those who are lesser aware, it gives them an opportunity to draw more bridges, to bring more information both independently and co-creatively within your awareness. when you are sleeping in your dream state and when you are meditating, in the next 1 year, you will notice a great deal more of integration of your previous incarnations or parallel existences. This has been occurring more so now than ever before, but at least for 9 months previous. For those of you who have begun to open your crown and third eye chakras, you are noticing a higher integration factor with your parallel selves, past selves, and future incarnations. This is due to the co-creative mechanism of your galactic consciousness integrating with your solar system consciousness in the most non-physical way. And as you all understand, non-physical energy is always integrated through your chakras from your non-physical self to your physical attributes. We hope that this allows you to sink in a deeper level of understanding. Thank you.
Thank you, Aridif. You're so awesome.
Yes. Also, all of you have the same awesomeness within yourselves. Understanding that you are loved, understands the awesomeness within you shines. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I will read the next awesome person's question. And
yes.
This is coming from Daniel, as you know, his wonderful film project that he's doing. He wants to know, he says, what the result will be upon releasing the film Those Who Seek, as in how will it affect its viewers in a positive way?
This is still fluid, as your energy is fluid. There are times in where there are concerns of yours or concerns of other entities in which are not sure of how successful the project will be, that allows a bit of instability in the outcome. You understand that all things in creation are fluid, that you have infinite amounts of probabilities, and the one in which you land your focus is the one in which you build yourself to, through thought, through ideals, through beliefs, through actions. So the more dependent or independently you create the comfortability and lack of resistance within yourself and all who co-create it around you, the more permanently this energy will affect others. In that attributes and concept, the more faith that you have in yourself, the more faith that you have that this film will do exactly what it is intended to do, to help raise the spirit's awareness and consciousness on a larger collective level, the more it will do just this. Also remind yourself only to co-create that with energies that are like yours. If you connect and co-create with energies that are more in a worrisome or negative polarity, that are always consistently pulling at ideas of how things will not work and fail, that will only give you opportunity to create lesser energy. Now, we have expressed through Treb Bor Yit NE to Rob several times in the past when working upon projects such as books or films, that the more energy that he placed within the actual project when he was in a negative polarity or negative energy, the more likely the negativity would come outward in the result of the project. So what we are meaning, if you are writing a book and you are transcribing an audio session, if you are in a negative mood that day, while you are transcribing, then you are putting that negative energy into the overall project. So this means during 50% of the time there is a negative emotion while transcribing, then 50% negativity goes into the overall concept to a smaller degree. As 1/4 of the overall book was transcribing and 50% of that, it leaves the equivalent to 1/8 of the overall project being affected mathematically and energetically by the negative association of the 50% time of transcribing. So working that energy out, let us say that 1/8 of the project being the overall effectiveness, that literally only 1/16 is truly affected due to the counterbalance of excitement in other places. You are working upon 1/16 less effectiveness due to the fact that you are grumpy 50% of the time of transcribing. So little energies working all collectively with one another is truly what a co-creation is. Be mindful of those that you allow to co-create with you. Make sure that they understand the principle of only working in that excitement, making sure the stress and day-to-day concepts that push down upon you are left at the door while creating. In that essence, if you are looking at now, you want to understand what the energy is now, there are great excitements from all of you. Although small worries, there is a greater excitement. It should give you an effect that is similar to what you desire. But we know, projecting forward into the future, that you must be more mindful of who you co-create with and their energy in the co-creative moment. Keep that awareness in the front of you. Continue to only place your excitement in the project, or more precisely, only place yourself in this project when your excitement is activated, and you will do quite well. Thank you.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes.
Our next question is from our dear Vashta. And she asks, since I met my friend Ragnar and went on a road trip with him 20 days ago, my third eye has been very active. It feels like a tunnel in my head with wind going through or water gently going through it. I feel it at all times now, and it's getting wider and stronger. I'm wondering what caused that exactly, and what can I use it for in specific?
Yes, it is quite easily assumable that your connection in that moment when you co-created with this entity came from your drawing upon your past lives together. In your past life incarnations, both of you shared a time within the mountains of Tibet. You are Tibetan monks who lived to meditate and to open third eye. In that co-creation with that entity, when you shared a life, being in proximity to this entity, sharing your excitements with that entity, drew you to your past lives. Activating your third eye is already something in which you built an excitement, already something in which you have laid a path in front of you. Now you are taking advantage of your excitement in the moment of traveling and going on your adventure to already something that was previously laid down in front of you. Pushing through that co-creative mechanism, excitedness with both of your parts moving forward allows the remembrance of that past incarnation's energy of highly activated third eye energy moving forward, moving forward. Continue to link yourself to the excitement of being with this entity, and you will still draw yet more energy from the third eye openness of the Tibetan monks in which you were. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh, all right. We have, I'm looking to see who hasn't had their question read out yet. We've got some more questions. I don't think we've read one from Resha yet. She says, would it be accurate to say as humans we are anchoring multi-dimension on the 4D, and at the same time we're co-creating a new Earth with us?
Yes, it would be quite accurate, clearly, to express this. While you are going through your fourth density consciousness, each one of you individually is playing with your multidimensional DNA. You have always played with this all the way back to your second density self, but now you have an awareness of how you are playing with it. Each of you who express an intent to expand consciousness within yourself are also expanding consciousness of all entities around you, understanding that each of you build your own reality from the internal mechanism to the external, meaning each one of you are only independent exposures of portions of consciousness already within the oversoul being expressed on the outward play or an outward continuance that you are all interacting and co-creating with one another. Therefore, the time the individual anchors themselves into their reality with an understanding, but more so an excitement to dive into your multidimensional DNA, you are anchoring it in your reality. Now, if you are looking at the higher echelons of consciousness, or the highest level of consciousness that you are aware, the Earth Collective Consciousness. Now, the Earth Collective Consciousness is a combination of all entities within every oversoul, 144,000 strong, as well as the 144,000 twin souls combined The physical manifestation of those collectively is the physical earth itself. So what are you doing? As individual consciousness, you anchor your multi-dimensionality to the earth collective, being who you are, expressing consciousness, expanding and excitement. You are helping transmute the energy of what is already fourth density to the earth collective in physical essence, the earth itself. Now understand, the earth collective consciousness shifted into fourth density once the fourth density energy came to be. Most of the humans upon that earth are just not able to perceive the new environment in which they already are. This means that all of you throughout your own consciousness are already fully in fourth density. Once you are able to perceive it, once you are able to call down and integrate higher levels of consciousness from the higher self, which is the mechanism we explained earlier in this day, bringing the percentage from 20/80 to 25/75 or 30/70, 45/55, whatever ratio you use, bringing in the higher fractal consciousness to your own lower fractal consciousness, where your awareness is what gives you that opportunity to see the fourth density environment that is around each and every one of you right now. So there is never the concept of using your multidimensionality to experience changing the earth into fourth density, because the earth is already there. Changing your own internal perception is what changes your ability to perceive what is already there. It is much as a fish in the ocean. You may place them in the water, they can swim around, and quite swimmingly, no pun intended, see all entities around them. But when they look up, they cannot see what is outside of the water. What you are doing by activating your multidimensional DNA, by placing yourself in excitements, expanding and integrating that higher fractal consciousness to your awareness, your lower fractal consciousness, you are now being a fish with wings. You may fly above the water. Now, many of you are doing this now. You are going to the surface and peeking. You are looking around with your eyes outside of the water. Some of you for the first time, some of you are quite used to this. But a full integration means you are having wings. It is perhaps a bad example to say you have wings and can fly in and out. What you are doing is essentially combining what is above water with what is underwater. But for experience or example's sake, we will say you can now transmit into the water and out of the water with your wings at any time. Doing this is seeing the multidimensionality of the Earth's physical self that is already there. Using your multidimensionality, you can achieve this conscious integration at a quicker clip or a quicker pace. And this is what we have always suggested to all of you if your desire is there to do this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aridif.
Yes.
I have a question from Savita. She wants to know, what is the spiritual reason of aging?
Spiritual reason. Now, this can get quite intense. We are looking at physical reasons. We are looking at energetic reasons. We are looking at spiritual reasons. So we will try to combine them and amalgamate them into one answer. Physically, why do you age? Physically, you understand the mechanism. The physical cells reproduce. Each copy that is given is a lesser copy. Therefore, the aging process begins. Energetically, what does that mean? It means that when you are transmuting yourself in mitosis state, in conscious state, you are giving less of yourself. This is often due to the entities in your environment separating themselves for their true selves from childhood onward. You see the youngest entities in your environment becoming the most attuned to what they truly are, the imaginative, smiling, playful child that you were. And the more filters that come into you, the more you separate from that person. This is why in the teenage years, there is great rebellions. These entities want to continue being who they were, but society tells them they cannot. It tells them you are too young to be an adult. but you are too old to be a child. They are stuck in a place in which there is no co-creative mechanism. Then the child getting older, taking the responsibility of the full adult, which means you cannot have fun, you cannot imagine, you must work, you must do this, you must pay bills, all of that energy pulling yet away further. So as you are getting older, the energy is repeating itself, not taking away. This is the most common occurrence upon your planet. Now understand, in the most metaphysical sense of the word aging, what we can tell you is this. The experience of being physical is for all physical things in this galaxy, all physical things in this universe, for lack of better terms, but understanding this consciousness as a galactic collective is a bit more pointed example. You see an entity experience. You've seen your prehistoric cavemen experience something. They experience family, hunting, gathering, surviving, for most part. Very small reason to experience an entire life. So what does this mean? It means they did not live much more than 30 to 35 years. In that 35 years, you can master all of those things. You can master almost every facet of experiencing hunting and gathering and being with family or groups. The more consciousness comes, inventions start happening. People are starting to experience more than just gathering. They're creating very complex social environments. Consciousnesses, collective consciousnesses integrate into experiencing politics and to experience social gatherings and connecting. So the longer the human exists, the more there is to experience. Now it is what happens first, the chicken or the egg. We say both of them. It is not the life became longer just because the experience became more, but the experience came more because the life was longer. These two go hand in hand. But if you are looking at the non-physical essence, it is always because there is more to experience in each moment. Now, your lifespan for what your history understands is at the longest point ever. Why is this? Because you are now entering full density. There is much more for the soul to require within themselves or acquire within themselves, and you are now requiring more experiences yourself. What it is to travel, what it is to see, a global concept, what it is to co-create experiences that are deep and profound and meaningful. And this is why the human consciousness lasts longer. Understand, with Treb Bor Yit NE's race, the average entity lives between 900 and 1,250 of your years. This means that there are births and deaths, not births in the traditional manner that you are used to, but births nonetheless. Their deaths occur not because of aging, but because instinctively they understand that what they have come to do is done, that they have achieved all that they could from the perspective of consciousness that they are given. Therefore, time is done. We must step outside of our physical realm and co-create a new physical incarnation. The evolution of a soul is very deeply profound in the ways of understanding. It is very progressive. It follows evolution to a T, physically, energetically. It all follows for a very great reason. You see the first density, second density, third, fourth. Each one steps up in experiential energy. It steps up in energetic connection, energetic prowess, and it is experience as such. So as you are growing, the time period in which you need to experience grows, and so does your overall energy integrated. So it is a timeline. Aging is part of the experience for humans and humanity to grow and to end their life. In your minds, in your belief systems as a collective, you cannot die unless you are old or sick, or unless something bad happens to you. Once humanity realizes this, then there will no longer be a short life period in which you age. It will be, you come in, you grow, you experience, and once your experience is done, you can at will step out of your physical body. And it is done. There is no crying, there is no sadness, it is celebration, expansion, understanding. This entity is achieved and will be back with us at a later point if they desire. This is the difference. Understanding the steps of reaching the aging process and removing it can be done by the end of the fourth density, at least. Understanding it can come earlier for you as an individual, and much of the people on your earth are doing this without being fully consciously aware. They are stepping out of their physical life before they are aged, before they are accidentally dying. Mysterious deaths are occurring more frequently because the energy is ripe for understanding that age does not have to be a negative process. We hope we have illuminated you in that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Aridif. And I just want to say the little side note here that we've all been discussing is admiring how much more excitement we're able to see in you, and we're just really enjoying and in awe of that excitement that we see as Rob channels you more and more. We're able to see you are expressing this and your passion more, and we really, really appreciate it.
Yes, very excited to be here, as I've always expressed, but my own energy connecting with Rob is becoming more clear. Rob's energy is helping himself remove resistance within himself, therefore the connection is getting much greater. Just as you all have seen the progression of Treb Bor Yit NE with Rob, you are also seeing the progression of us. Understand my connection directly with Rob has occurred less than 1 year and 4 months on your Earth time. Directly connecting, simultaneously connecting with Treb Bor Yit NE has occurred before then, but our own connection, quite a great deal better. The longer we connect, the longer we will fix and enhance the connection.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a great mirror for all of us to learn from so that we can get some wonderful examples that can demonstrate in our own ways how we can find how to connect with our own guides more deeply and our higher selves as well.
Yes, let us give you one example. Each of you have had a new relationship with a counterpart, whether it is a new girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, etc. As each one of you connect to this new entity, there is always an excitement at first, yes, a newity, but you have never exposed the true nature of the full essence of yourself in front of this entity for fear of rejection, for fear of disconnection. There is always resistance there. The longer you connect, the more excitements you can share, but the more of yourself comes forward. Now, at certain points, there are entities who say, this is not who the entity is. I connect to it first. I no longer resonate and step out. But for those who can appreciate even more what they have in front of them, then they continue to build their connection. By year 4, by year 5, these entities are in more love than whatever they were able to before, because they have seen all of the other entity that there is to see. There is no resistance. There is no masks. There is no stepping in between energies. The more you channel, the more you connect to the entities within you, whether you are conscious of your channeling or not, whether you are aware that the entity exists or not, the more that you step into that energy, the less resistance is laid within yourself. The more you connect, the more masks are removed on both sides. Keep connecting, whether they are conscious of you or you are conscious of them or not, whether it is existing there or not, resistance will be removed. If you express yourself in a verbal manner, I want to connect to my guides. You are connecting. Your intent is place the connection in front. Whether you hear them or not, whether you feel them or not, they are there. You are building a rapport. This is why some channels have said, use your imagination and channeling process, and we have agreed with this, because the intent alone helps the connection start. The less resistance that you have within you, the more the connection benefits. The more intent you place in that connection, the less resistance comes between yourself and an understanding. Once you drop your resistance, once you allow your chakra system to feel, the more you will be able to perceive them. So work with it each day through intent, and it will help you build your bridge. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, oh my God, this is like my favorite so far, a monthly conference. Okay. Um, whew, okay. Next question comes from Anthony. I don't believe we've read from him yet, or did we?
Yes, there is a previous question
Okay.
in which he is engaged.
Okay, then we'll hold off on that because I'm just looking at the time. I don't think David has had a question yet. He wants to know he says, what do my guides look like if they have a visible form, and how do I connect with them more clearly?
Yes, first of all, understand, in the spirit guide aspect, if you are defining an entity as a spirit guide, this would lead us to believe you are speaking of your non-physical guides. On average, humans carry anywhere from 2 to 6 spirit guides. These are entities who used to incarnate with you, or who take turns incarnating with you, and then do not incarnate with you so that they are available for guidance in a non-physical way as you incarnate. Now understand, in your experience, there are 3 entities that are connected to you in that way. So these 3 entities are not physical. But if you mean guides, such as an example of myself and Rob, and then Treb Bor Yit NE and Rob, then yes, there are many entities that are physical. The list is numerous. It has no end to how many entities are connected with you. The ones now that are more specifically connected to you, there are 3 energies that we perceive. If you are looking at the physicality of these, yes, they are all physical bodies, each one independently different, to co-create with their collective consciousness in which they reside, meaning that the insectoid entity that is next to you looks quite insectoid in a physical way. They are not a mantis, they are more as your ant people that visited your earth. These entities are connected to you deeply. The one stepping forward is the one that co-creates with you upon a subconscious, conscious, dream state, and enhanced meditative state level. The energy of emotion is where you first need to look. Instead of all of you trying to jump head first into meditation, and the first time you try, you are frustrated and say, this is not something that I can continue. I cannot do it. Feel the emotion first. Some of you are quite natural. You may jump in and see them first. That's fine. But to those who cannot jump into your emotional state, feel your chakras. That is how most of your guides will communicate with you at first. Feel that energy. Now, second guide that we are perceiving, humanoid entity, looking very similar to how humans appear. In the physical manner, having hair, having legs, only slightly taller. We see one entity at 7.6 feet, or 7.5 realistically, but 7 foot and 6 inches. This entity is the humanoid with dark hair, lighter skin, perhaps not as light as Rob's, as his becomes very light in any light, darker than his, but lighter than that of a Hispanic or African person in your perception, in between those 2 tones. Now, the third entity, one that is reptilian in nature, but most of you would not be able to perceive the reptilian in this entity. It is not a hybrid of human, and this is very uncommon for most humans to perceive. When you are looking at a reptilian entity, there are expectations of what the physical bodies or physical attributes will look at. It is not always the case. This entity is reptilian in nature, but does not give a design of reptilian energy. There is no scales. It is one large piece of skin, just as human entities have. It appears to be, at least. There are divisions in that, but not seeable to the eye. This entity is both blue and golden brown. It is one that is approximately 4 foot and 6 inches tall, or 4.5 of your feet. Those are the physical attributes and markers of this entity. If you want to connect them, look for your emotion first. Look at intent before sleep state, which can never be overstated. We can never give you this information enough. Sleep state is where it most naturally occurs because you are already connecting to the portions of your consciousness in which interaction is already happening. So focus there, place your intent, Place your focus. Allow yourself a more deep entry in your sleep state. Thank you.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes.
All right. Whew,
what is the approximate time that is left?
It is 3:58. You said we would cut off at 4:15.
Yes.
Do we get an extension or no? I know it's up to Rob's body.
Yes, and this is why we ask. The body is becoming a bit more hesitant.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm looking to see if there's anybody who hasn't had their question asked yet. Let me ask the audience real quick. Have any of you guys not had your question asked yet? I think this is a good one while I wait to hear from, Edward, you didn't have yours yet? Oh, he says always forgetting me. I don't forget you. I'm just, can be very scattered sometimes. Edward has a question. I should see a couple here. He says, I desire to study spirituality and do more productive things, but I find myself stuck in playing video games a lot or passing time. For my situation, what are the root causes to this and how to get past it?
Yes, first of all, understanding a difference between distraction and a lower form of excitement. This is what we want to share with you. Many of you believe yourself to be distracting yourself when you are not. You are just, in fact, grabbing on to a lower form of excitement. It is still an excitement to play your video games in that moment. The judgment that comes on yourself afterwards is usually more energetically blocking than the act of playing the game itself. Once you've judged yourself for stepping outside of what you see as productive, that is usually a cause of great resistance within you all. Understand, even if you cannot see the fruits of your labor, your productivity of each day, if you are living in any form of excitement, it is expanding you. Now understand, yes, you come with concept of not being productive and regrets that come with it. And yes, those are all negative emotions. It is not video games, it is the regret and feeling that you are not being productive. What is productivity? This is a human term that only allows an entity to be able to see the fruits of his labor, to be able to acquire the definition of productivity. What we see productivity is expansion. It is placing yourself in an excitement in a given moment. Whether it is a higher excitement or low excitement, this is for you to decide. We always suggest going with the higher excitements. Yes, it is what is most beneficial to your expansion, or for your terms, to feel more comfortably, it is more productive. So in that essence, we always suggest that. But when you are not doing that, then often, yes, it is a distraction. It is something that is within yourself that is causing a blockage to see what you are truly investing yourself in. Now, when you are stepping outside of what a normal excitement is to divert yourself, you are doing this because there is an underlying fear within you. Whether it is a fear to see what is beyond the expansion I desire, what is in the expansion I desire, or what will it change if I expand. All of these things are something which you must look at. You must be honest with yourself. All of you as a collective, but also you. You must look at those concepts within yourself and say, is there an underlying fear in which I can examine more thoroughly? If there is, you must face it. You must look at it. You must not must anything, but you must feel, if you desire to overcome this, you must look into this concept. Understand the mechanism that we call the action mechanism is broke within many humans. And we do not wish to say you are broken and you are unfixable or you are broken. What we mean by broken mechanism is that you are not allowing yourself to act upon your excitements. This is caused from only a fear of change, a part of you in your chakra system, belief systems that have disconnected what it will be to live a happy life. Most of you in your perception do not believe that you deserve the great happiness which you can find. This is very first level stopping mechanism for manifesting your excitements, manifesting what you desire. Understand your worthiness. If you are able to look deeply into yourself and express that no matter what anyone else perceives me as, no matter how any others look at me, I am perfect as I am. And if you can co-create with entities who can see your perfection as well as you see theirs, that is another way. Understanding, many of you take so much out of your relationships. You are giving away some of yourself, in fact, by taking so much. You are looking at others to appease you. You are looking at others to give you the satisfaction that you desire of a perception of who you are. Entity thinks I am not nice, I am not proper, I am not effective at what I do, therefore I must be doing something wrong. This is not correct. You are only projecting that consciousness out into your reality to show you something that you feel negative about before. What we're telling you, if you do not look into the concept of worrying about what other entities think, and you are only doing things that excite you, you will never be able to manifest those naysayers to begin with. There is always an investment of your belief, as we expressed earlier, in building of creation. So when you are looking and say, I feel that as if I don't care what others think, any naysayer in front of you, any person who makes fun of you or pokes or prods, will always show you the percent of resistance within that belief. If you always say to yourself, I am sure that no one, I don't care what anyone thinks, or no one will get in my way, and someone steps into your way, it is because you have not been honest with yourself about your investment in that belief. So as much as you think that you are believing it, there is a part of you that doesn't. Subconscious efforts, subconscious beliefs. Look into your aspects of this. Look into your attributes. When you see what worth you see in yourself first, in a subconscious level as well as a conscious level, see what fears are stopping you from doing what you truly are excited about, and look honestly and deeply into what your perception is of the video games. Are they truly distracting, or are they truly a lower form of excitement? Be honest with yourself in interpreting these. What we see is that your fear in a subconscious and conscious level is what is preventing this. But working on these 10 steps helps bring up the more subconscious levels of understanding for yourself. So this is what we will leave you with for that question. Thank you.
Thank you, Aridif. And the time is 4:05. Would you say we have about, like, how many questions would you gather?
We would express that we will take one last question, and if it is a short answer, we will take two. But the body is becoming tired. We believe 5 minutes about is all that we have left.
Okay, well, I have an idea. I have a question for the collective, and then if there's time for a final one, I'm going to do a drawing, because there's literally 13 questions. I have a lot of excitements today.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll ask the collective question, and then I'll put names into a hat. And if there's energy for that, then I'll draw that, and that'll be our final question. But what I'll go ahead and do is find Roy had asked a question about Pluto, and I know this is something we can all relate to. He says, Pluto is a very exciting planet for him, which I feel is for all of us here too. And he says, I wonder how and what was downloaded when we passed the planet with our collective consciousness. And also, could you elaborate on our quest to Pluto via NASA?
Yes. Now, in the terms of downloaded, what is this referring to?
I'm looking to see if he's written anything. I think it has to be basically, a lot of us, when we say to download the energy information that's coming from Pluto, what does it mean?
Yes. First of all, look into the concept of what you are exploring. You are exploring the space around you, which most of you perceive as physical space, time, attributes of your solar system collective that you once were not aware of. But in our perception, what we see is you have just expanded further than you ever have expanded before within yourself. with clarity. Yes, there are plenty of these objects that you have thrown in space much further than Pluto, but you have not seen what you were looking for. Now you are starting to go deep into yourself and you are finding answers. This is the manifestational quality of what the experience overall meant. Co-creatively, you are connecting to Pluto for a very deep reason. The energy of Pluto as part of your solar system collective consciousness is one in which needs to integrate into the Earth collective for the co-creation that you desire. The Plutonian energy is one that is very subtle, but it is very powerful in the terms of masculinity and feminine energy combining, co-creating, and balancing. When you are looking into that Plutonian collective energy, what you are experiencing is your desire to find that in your Earth collective, therefore to co-create with. The mission to NASA, all of these things, you understand what they mean physically. You understand exploration of space, desire to know, etc., etc. But energetically, your desire to be out into the stars partially comes from your desire to escape your reality. But for most of you, you have found a great excitement into exploring portions of yourself, as Treb Bor Yit NE says, in which have never been explored previously. And if all of you are doing this on a singular rate, then the collective is doing it too. Each one of you are co-creating a certain aspect of yourself that desires knowledge to a level in which you have never been able to experience. That is why, at every turn of every corner, there is intense and large information that comes through. Many of you have expressed that the energy from myself has been louder and boisterous in this day than previously, and it is not just because it is truly connecting your energy to mine, co-creating, but the collective is ready for more intense, loud, and boisterous information. Think of the Plutonian village or the Plutonian voyage as one step in exploring the deepest aspects and attributes of yourself as a collective consciousness, finding new information within yourself at each turn, integrating the masculine and feminine balance that all of you desire and or need in your minds. Think of that as this, and we will disconnect for this evening. But before we disconnect, we wish to express to all of you, as you have listened to our words, as you have experienced the love that you have all around you, to know that you are loved is one thing, but we also wish to express that we love you.
We love you too. And I want to say that Roy thanks you especially for that message. And so he just says, I love you, Trav. Everyone is expressing their love to you guys, and we truly, truly love you all. We are so appreciative of you spending time with us. You're very dear friends, and we love you very, very, very much. Thank you.
Yes, we have enjoyed this also very thoroughly. Understanding all of you are loved has already been within your own minds and hearts today, so we will bid you adieu. Thank you.
Thank you, Aridif. Thank you, Trev, and thank you, Rob. Hey, Trevi.
Yes, I wish to express to each of you that it has been a very great and exciting day, and that each moment that we are connecting to you, we are connecting to portions of ourselves that we have not been able to explore before the co-creation that we share, and with this it is very exciting. We wish to express, with this being said, we will leave you this evening in love and in light, and we will experience each other again very soon.
Yay. Good night, Trev. Good night, Aridif. Love you. Welcome back, sweetie.
Hey.
Aww. You feeling okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I woke, I came to, and my screen was going
A lot of energy out, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a drink real quick. I'll be right back with you in a second.
Okay. He smiles like a minion. Are you talking about Trev or Rob? You guys are funny.
Oh, I'm taking a drink in a minute. I'll be back on. Basically, guys, I guess what I really want to say is I want to thank all of you guys for coming. I want to thank all of you for being a part of this. We're doing this every month. Next month, I don't even know when it's happening, but if you go to our website, you could definitely see when it's going to happen, and I'll type that out for you guys. We really love having a larger group, and having you guys here today is just really, really amazing. So I want to thank all of you guys, too. What else, baby? What do we have else to tell everyone?
I just wanted to say sorry we couldn't get to all the questions. This was literally the most exciting event we've had. We literally probably had, gosh, let me think. It was definitely more than 20 plus, possibly 30 plus questions that we had all in all. And I just wanted to say that, please feel free to call in on the first Wednesdays every month. If you call in, well, I should probably be specific about that. On Rob's show, the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, on Wednesday nights on Blog Talk Radio, which we post everywhere on Facebook. And feel free to call in. It's always best to call in at least 10 or 15 minutes early, and then press 1 to get into the queue, and you're able to ask questions there. So, and then, of course, we have this monthly teleconference every month. So feel free to come in and join, and we always try to get at least we always try to get at least 2 or 3 questions if possible in, but I always try to make sure at least everybody gets a question in, because we love you guys and we want you all to feel included.
Yeah, and I want to answer a question too. I've seen some questions about the recording of this video. Last month, there was a big issue with the audio and video, so that's why it took quite a few days to get out. But we normally can send you out a recording within 2 or 3 days. It will come to us later tonight, and then we have to edit it, take off any breaks in between. We also have to add our logo on it and our intro and theme song. Yes, so we want to make it good for you, but we'll have the audio recording tonight, so we'll send out the email for the audio recording tomorrow. We'll send you a link that gives you a whole folder in Google Drive, and that whole folder will be this event. So you go there to listen to the audio tomorrow, and then whenever the video is done, we'll send out another email, but the same link will be used for it. And we will remind you that in both emails. You click there, you'll have the poster for the event, you'll have the audio and the video recording. And all of you get that as a part of being here today for free. No additional costs on that, because that's part of the monthly event. So,
and I wanted to add one more thing.
By all means.
If for whatever reason you guys don't receive it within 3 days, shoot me an email at trebchanneling.kalina, Kalina, @gmail.com, and I'll check in with Rob and make sure that you get that link. But,
absolutely.
You want to wait 3 days, because just in case it takes us a while. Anybody who does any kind of editing, wink, wink, you all know who you are. you know how quirky technology can be.
Yeah, you know how the fun of that can go. I want to thank you guys all so much. I see all of your love in the comments, and I can't wait to check out the session too once we get the recording.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds like it went amazing, so I'm glad
to hear it. Yes, it did.
That.
I hope it renders fast and we can get it. I want to hear it again today. You guys, this was amazing, and we couldn't do this without you. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, yeah, Rob and I have a fun time kicking it with Treb and Aridif, but it's so much more fun when we get to share this experience with all of you. And watching, you guys also have been opening up a lot too, and channeling in your own ways, like with Vashta with her art, and she also channels in with writing. You might kill me a little bit for bringing it up, but just seeing everybody kind of coming out of your own boxes, so to speak, and it's just been so beautiful to see all of us, sharing information from our guides, and it's just very, very fun to spend time with you all, and it's fun to see Rob, who is just absolutely a master of allowing the flow of energy through him, and I'm just very, very happy. I know I keep sounding redundant, but that's because I'm all excited, and it's just very beautiful to have this experience with y'all, because it's so the opposite of what I experienced when I was younger. And I just want to say thank you, because it means a lot to me to spend time with my soul families here. My heart goes out to each and every one of you. I love you all.
We love you, and I love you too, babe. Thank you so much for getting this thing with great energy. I love all of you guys too. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Me and Kalina are going to open a Facebook page on Facebook, and it's going to be the monthly channeling special friends group. So all of you guys can meet up on Facebook if you already haven't met up, and that way all of you will know where each of you are. I'll make it a private group so that people can't see what you're posting together and group. And I'll make it a group and not a page, so everyone can post and everyone can hang out and you guys can share your experience. I think I've done that with every event so far that we've had. We've always put up a page for it. We've still got a page for the Asheville group, which is still thriving and going well. So we'll create that and we'll send that to you in your email with your first thing. And I just want to thank you guys all so much. We love you very much, and we'll see you either sometime or next month.
Love you guys, and I'll have my camera back next month. So I love you guys.
Love you too, and thank you guys so much. See you next month. Love ya.
Love ya.
Here we go.